See, when you told me you'd gone for a 1-point win, I thought what you expected was Tony Gigo to score a drop goal for that, and then
after 7 minutes
you score a penalty at the end to read us some balance, but never a drop goal. Not this one, not this Warrington side.
The problem with our drop goals, like very very briefly, is that we don't. That the final pass out of dummy half for Tyrone Roberts is always shit. It's always...
Which is interesting because we were singing Darryl Clark's praises before, but he's normally patterned by that time.
Yeah. So,
with his little ninja knot going on. What is that about?
It's for the... I think it might have been the Catalan game actually when we were trying to take him. Then it was too high. It was like up above his head when he got the ball. He just didn't have the time to get it down where he needed it. The ones he's trying it against Saints was one like right at his feet, right rather than it's just like if they put it in his hands where he's supposed to be. I think he could slot it, but he's never had the real opportunity. And because he's Tyrone Roberts and because he's not lived up to expectations and because he's leaving at the end of the season, the fans always give it to him and don't give it to who's passed him the ball.
Talking about dodgy setups for kicks for Warrington has reminded me of one of the more entertaining aspects of Sunday's whole day experience, and it was in the Warrington warm-up. When Stefan Ratchford came out, he teed up the ball on the halfway line to practice a kick-off, right? Yeah. And then the cheerleaders all started dancing right around the ball, and he was there like, what am I meant to do?
Which is probably why he kicked it out on the full when he actually got to play.
There you go, So we've given our prediction on that one. The Sky game, only one Sky game from the Super League Super 8s this week, and that is the big one. Wigan versus Castleford. It's two sides in the top four. This could have a big bearing with 1 point between the sides on who finishes in second and gets the home semi-final. It really is at that stage. And I'm going to back my boys at home. I think we've edging into fitness in the pack. Hopefully there's a slim chance that we'll see Sutton and O'Loughlin potentially back. More likely O'Loughlin. I think in that regard we should see George Williams back as well, which will add a little bit of spark to our attack that maybe has slipped away over the last few weeks. And it gives another focus for teams when we've only had Sam Tompkins and not had O'Loughlin and George Williams on the field. You kind of can build your defence around where Tompkins was on the field. This gives the opposition team someone else to look at, someone else to defend. So I think that there's a good chance for us there. Castleford, I know, are working back towards fitness. I hope it's going to be a cracker, but I hope that Wigan come out on top. I'm going to back my boys and go Wigan by 10. Let's say 20 points to 10. I don't think it'll be a hugely high scoring game because I think Wigan will need to reassert themselves physically for these Super 8s and the playoff stage of the season. So that's what I'm going, Wigan by 10.
Right. I think it's got every chance of being a really good game, but again, I don't think it'll be particularly high scoring. I think I fancy Wigan as well at home, even though I think it was just the fixture that Truman absolutely killed it last year.
But Wigan's season was done by the stage
that stage. But I just I think Wigan, but by 2, so I've got 18 to 16.
Okay. Into the qualifiers then. Shall we sort of have a little bit of a guess where people are going to finish in the qualifiers before we talk about it? Do we think the Super League clubs are going to be safe in this qualifiers, or who do we think's in real jeopardy? Are we worried about Leeds after the way they folded?
I can't imagine a Super League without Leeds in it, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't want a Super League without Leeds. I think it would be bad for Super League without Leeds in it. I don't know why. Obviously because of the fans and the size of the club, and I don't think I'd want to lose them out of it. But I don't think that they'll be in danger. They've got a lot of quality in that. They've got too much quality in that team to struggle against a championship opposition. Even Toronto, I would imagine. So I think Leeds will do what they did 2 years ago and
cruise
and win the
they won every game,
middle-aged shield or
they'll invent a trophy. They're playing Toronto last game. There's no mixed history there to invent a trophy for.
So I think Leeds will win it. I think the Super League clubs that are in jeopardy are. I would have said Salford, but I do think Jackson Hastings and some of the signs that they've made do add that little extra bit of quality that might see them right. The one Super League, the one Championship team that I think could potentially make it is obviously Toronto. So I think. Widnes. That's true. I think Widnes will be the team that I would say out of all the Super League teams that they would be the team that I would expect could go down. But then last year, you would have said the same thing, and then they just kicked on, didn't they? Last year and did brilliant.
They were really solid, weren't they, at that stage? I think you've kind of covered everything. I don't want to be boring and just say stuff. At the start of the year, I thought 2 Super League clubs might go down, but that was contingent on Leigh really being in the qualifiers rather than this way round. I don't think Toulouse have got enough defensively over the piece, so it really comes down to whether Toronto finish in the top 3 or whether they play in the £1 million game against Widnes is the way I'm leaning on it. So there is a lot of things to watch out for in this, and the games are going to be exciting, and we've got games on Sky coming up. So the first one, Thursday night's game, 7:45pm kickoff on Sky. It's Widnes versus London. This will set out the stall really well for Widnes, really. This will show if the signings they've made, the sort of experience and leadership that they've brought in, that they've been shockingly missing all year, is really going to push them through. I fancy them to win. I fancy it to be a high scoring game. I think Widnes by 10, maybe 34-24.
Yeah. I've also gone for Widnes by 10, but I've slightly lower scoring, so 20-10. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't win, just because they've been so dire this year. But based on the fight that they showed last year and the and the fact that even though they're at home as well on their own pitch.
But London play on that official service too, don't they?
As do Toronto as well, don't they? So, it's like they're going to lose that competitive advantage.
That's an interesting point. Yeah, I've not really thought about that. They're away at Toronto, though, aren't they? Widnes are.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't have had kind of advantage either way.
Well, it's the £1 million
but what they'll get to do is learn what a next generation plastic pitch looks like. Because London will be slumming it on this old generation pitch that they'll be playing on. Well, they have a nice shiny new turf there as well. Okay, so Widnes by 10 for you as well.
Yep.
Friday night, 8pm, Hull KR versus Salford. So 2 of the Super League sides. So one of them is likely to get off to a losing start. And I struggled on this one. I went back and forth, to be honest, on my predictions on this one. I ended up plumping for Hull KR just on home, on the fact that they're at home, and the fact that they've raised their game in home games over the last month or so, maybe the last 6 weeks or so. They've beaten Wigan at home in that run. So I'm gonna go Hull KR by 12. I'm not sure how fully fit Jackson Hastings is yet. He only played 20 minutes or so of the game against Leeds. He only needed to play 20 minutes or so, but I don't think Hull KR are in that same position. I think they're loaded and ready to go. So Hull KR for me. What about you?
So I've gone for Salford in this game. I'd obviously Salford beat Leeds. They beat Leeds last week, didn't they?
Hugely comfortably.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking that some of the new players, including Jackson Hastings, has had an extra week. I don't know whether he played that amount of time just because he was relatively fresh off the plane, wasn't he? He hadn't come over. He'd only come over earlier on that week, hadn't he? So
he had a hamstring. I think a hamstring week.
All right. But he's a quality player. He's if he can link up with Louis and I think that they potentially could have the quality of being saving players like Flanagan and stuff. They need to get off to a good start. That I just think, and they've got form of beating Hull KR in these kind of games at Hull KR, haven't they?
True. That's true, but I think that's an added level of motivation for the Robins for me. But we shall see. So you've got Salford winning by
8, so 28-20.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
Saturday, another Sky game. This is 3:15 kickoff. It's Leeds versus Toulouse. Now, Toulouse are an interesting team. They can score points for fun. It's just who's going to have the better defensive integrity in this game is one of the big question marks. Leeds are going to be able to bring Dom Crosby back into the side for them. I think he's gone well for them in the 2 games he's played for them so far. He's looked quite impactful, and they need more forwards in that side. I fancy Leeds to win. I've got Leeds by 14. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think we could be talking 40, around about 40ish, around about 30ish kind of points. About 70 points in the game. I think because neither defence impresses me hugely at the moment. But I think Leeds should just have enough against a Championship defence.
Right. So I thought Toulouse might get overawed by the occasion of playing at Headingley, and sort of it's a big game for those guys to start off on Leigh, even though Leeds are not playing well. They are sort of the big name in this in that competition, and so I've got Leeds coming back and fighting for it, and I think that the Leeds will win handsomely for this one, so I've got them winning 34-6.
Fair enough, interesting. Sunday then finally wraps off the qualifiers. Halifax versus Toronto is a 3 p.m. kickoff, so this is 2 of the Championship sides. Halifax have achieved their goal for me. There's no pressure on them. No. That might play in their favour, but at the same time, Toronto are just a better outfit. I'm going to go Toronto by 20 in this one. I just think, although there's no pressure on Halifax, Toronto will really want this, and they've been rotating the squad. They've been keeping people fresh. Okay, they've got maybe a little bit of question mark over the fitness of their outside backs, but they've got a pack that can compete with any of the Championship sides, and I think they will.
Yeah. Toronto have been the standout team in that division, and I don't expect them to slip up in the way that Leigh did against opposition from their own division. In this, I think they've been building up to this for the last 2 years. I think the games against the teams that they've been playing against in the Championship are nailed on for Toronto, I think, and I think they'll win handily in this one too. So I've got them winning 12-36.
Fair enough. Okay, into the Championship Shield, and I picked up games of the weekly rather than game of the week because the bottom 2 are playing the 2 teams that are in catchable distance for them, and I think it's absolutely crucial. So the Dewsbury are hosting Swinton and Barrow are hosting Rochdale. So the bottom side 2 sides are on the road. I spoke to a Barrow fan I mentioned before.
Yeah,
he was quite confident about this game, and then really felt that would then mean they just need one more win to be safe. And all the numbers and everything suggest that's pretty well supported. These 2 clubs, Dewsbury and Barrow, are 5 points ahead of Swinton and Rochdale as it stands. I think these are crucial games. Basically, if this goes in favour of the home sides, then those
down.
Yeah, it feels that way, doesn't it? So I'm going to go for Swinton to win on the road.
You love Swinton.
Well, they've got they've got some of our boys on dual reg there at Swinton on loan as well, and I just think they've put together a decent side, and Dewsbury are in bad form. So I'm going to go Swinton on the road there. What do you have any strong views?
I wouldn't have strong views, but I would go for Dewsbury at home.
Fair enough. And what about the second game, Barrow versus Rochdale?
Barrow. I would say I'd go for the home team on that one as well.
See, on this one's interesting because Barrow are carrying injuries through to this stage of the season. They've really, he will be playing. Yeah, they've really been struggling with injuries. But I just remain uninspired by Rochdale this year. So on that basis, I'm going to back Barrow in this one. So there you go. So I still think Swinton may be alive, but Barrow might have got themselves safe after this weekend's game. A League One game of the week. It's two of those people chasing that top 5 playoffs. It is the two sides that sit just outside on points difference only, though. Oldham versus Whitehaven, and this League One.